It's Rob and Brent and my Reggie dude, and don't forget it also features Dawson too. We gonna give you all the dope reviews, but first we'll hit on all the movie news. Cha-ching, cha-ching, box office due. In between the news and the reviews, there's not a lot that we don't do, so turn the volume up, cause we coming through. Put your headphones on and tie your shoes. Jackman and Grant, we got all the views. We're like Brando in Godfather 2. We're gonna make a podcast you can't refuse. This is the Cinema Chat Podcast, and we know a lot about movies. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's another episode of Cinema Chat Podcast with Rob and Brent and Reggie, featuring Dawson. I'm Brent.
I'm Reggie.
And I'm featuring Dawson.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty good, guys. Good job. This week, Rob is not here. Rob's got some stuff going on he's got to take care of, so he dipped out. This is his selection we're going to be reviewing this week. It's Batman The Killing Joke. So Rob made me watch a cartoon movie. That's cool. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about whether or not it's good or terrible. Did this convince me that I like animated comic book movies? You'll have to wait to find out. Now, before we do that, I've got some questions, and I expect immediate answers from you guys. I'm gonna want to know something about what you did this week. What did we watch this week? Let us give you a peek. We'll get to the news real soon. First, listen to this little tune. Give us the attention we seek while we tell you what we watched this week. Tell them, Rob. What did you see? Tell them. I want to know. Dawson, what did you watch this week?
You know, I was just thinking, I didn't really watch a lot this week. Outside of what did we watch as the double feature on?
Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, that was this week. Okay. I was confused. I was listening to Ben Chat and I'm like, was that this week or last week? And we're recording a day early, so I don't have my normal extra day in there. I will say I did start watching a new show on Amazon called The Truth Seekers. Okay. It's Nick Frost mostly, and then Simon Pegg is in it a little bit. But it's a British show, and it's kind of in the vein of like a Shaun of the Dead type of show, but it's around ghost hunting and like trying to find ghosts. So they're cable installers. Okay. And they go places, and he's got all the gear because he's been finding stuff, and then he's finding signals, and then he starts communicating to ghosts, and that's what they do. They go around and they find ghosts.
So go ahead.
I've only seen 2 episodes so far.
Okay, how many are there?
I think there's 8 or 10. They're half hour episodes. It's like a horror. I saw it and I'm like, this kind of looks like it could be like a Ghostbusters type of TV show. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I like Nick Frost and Simon Pegg together, so yeah,
that's cool. You say it's on Prime?
Yeah, it's decent. I would say check it out. I mean, I'm enjoying it. The 2 episodes I've seen so far.
Okay, all right. Reggie, what'd you watch?
I didn't watch a lot either this week, but I did watch this movie, Rogue City on Netflix. It's like a French action crime.
Yeah,
movie.
I saw that pop up on my Netflix.
I got to cue that.
It was an interesting watch. I don't know if it's the storytelling or if it was just maybe me not paying attention, but it's a movie where there's a lot of double crossing going on, people double crossing and triple crossing, and it got to a point where I was like, I don't know who the good guy is here, and I was like, this gang hates this gang who hates these people, so it was kind of confusing, and then I figured it out eventually, but it was a good movie. And then I think the end is what really saved the movie. Like, it was fun, but like it was kind of convoluted. But then like the way that it ended, I was like, that's something you don't see a lot, and I really like that. But then I also watched this movie, The Bad Batch, with Jason Momoa. Keanu Reeves cameos in it, but somehow it gets top billing, which was really deceiving.
What do you mean somehow?
Well, because like he's like prominent in the credits and on Netflix, so I was like, oh, this is a Keanu Reeves movie, and it's not. It's just he happened to cameo.
Hey,
it'd be like if in Tropic Thunder they were like Tom Cruise is in Tropic Thunder, you know?
Hey Reggie, in that Fast and Fierce movie we want to watch, DMX is not going to be in it very often. It's just gonna he's probably just gonna have a couple of minutes of stuff.
It's a shame. His face is on the poster and everything.
Yeah, he's the only one that's...
He's the only one that can sell a movie, maybe.
Yeah, but The Bad Batch, I enjoyed it. It's a weird movie. It's like about cannibalism and this weird post-apocalyptic future. I don't know. It's such a weird movie, like on paper. I don't even know how to describe it. But it was worth watching because of Jason Momoa and the other actress in it. Let me look up her name so I give her some due justice or whatever. Suki Waterhouse. Yeah. She and Jason Momoa make this movie work in a way that like I didn't think two people couldn't. It's because it's so weird. But like I would give it like an 8 out of 10. It's a weird movie. People might not like it, but I think it's well worth the watch because it's an interesting movie.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm a little suspect of that one, but
you should be too.
I'll take your word for it, I guess. I did watch something this week. Something that I have been putting off for quite a long time. And I made a promise last week to you guys. I am caught up on The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So I am 100% caught up. And I am mad at myself for not watching it before now.
I told you, man, this is the way. It's so good.
It's a really fucking great show. It's legit. I mean, I wouldn't say it's Star Wars movie quality in terms of action and production, but it's damn near close for a TV show.
What?
Not in an action sense, it's not, but in an actual story sense, this is one of the best Star Wars stories I've had. I like it because in a way that you don't get in the Star Wars movies, in the TV format, it gives it a chance to breathe. So you'll get an episode where there's not a lot of, it kind of lulls a little bit. And I like that. I like the building of the characters. It's just something that you get out of a television format that you don't get out of movies. And I'm not saying like, obviously I love movies, but sometimes it's a nice change of pace whenever you watch a bunch of movies, especially in one universe, to get like turned on its head a little bit and see a story unfold in a different way. So I dig it. I love it. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm caught up. I'll be able to watch it with you guys this weekend if I'm not too busy playing my PlayStation 5. That should be coming. We're recording on Wednesday, so my PS5 should be here tomorrow, which is why we're recording a day early, because I told you guys if my PS5 is here, I don't want to spend the first night talking to you chucklefucks for 2 hours. So
Understood.
So we bumped the recording up a day. But that's what I watched this week. I don't think I watched anything else. If I did, it wasn't that great. I don't remember it. I put Slasher on Netflix into my queue, but I didn't watch it. So maybe I'll have something to get back to you on that next week. But are we ready to move on to the movie news, guys?
I have one more that I just realized that I forgot. Color Out of Space. Is that the movie?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
the Nick Cage
you
movie.
started that. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like. It was such a weird movie, but I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with that movie, and to the point where I was watching it and I was like, "Is Nicolas Cage really just a good actor and we can't appreciate him? What he's doing?" Because like, I don't think there's any way that you could be that bad of an actor unless it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he has a particular way of acting that I don't know. Maybe he's actually a good actor. Maybe we just can't appreciate what he's doing. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually true or not. But I applaud you for having a different thought on the subject. But
That's
yeah.
a nice way to put it.
All right.
Cindy, the news is on.
Insightful.
Good news.
If the headline is big enough, it makes the news big enough.
Timely.
The news goes on for 24 hours a day.
Well prepared.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
The Aladdin news?
This is movie news. All right. We all have stories in this news section. So I don't know who should lead it, but Dawson, do you want to take over for the news? Or should I do this?
I didn't have anything in there. Go for it.
Oh, it must have been Reggie. Reggie, do you want to do the news? Reggie's not.
Sure, give me a second to pull up the news.
You know what? How about I do the first story and then you can take over after that? This is a professional fucking podcast, bitch.
We've done it a couple times.
A time or two, or 280 something episodes. Bloodshot, the movie that was the last movie I got to see in a movie theater in 2020. It inexplicably has a sequel that's been greenlit. They are making a Bloodshot sequel, Reggie. They are determined to get this valiant comic book universe, cinematic universe off the ground, and Vin Diesel is going to be the savior of comic book movies. I don't know how this is happening.
You know what? Somebody convinced themselves that the only reason Bloodshot didn't do well was because of COVID-19. They're like, if this had a normal release, it would have done much better. Because, I mean, I can understand convincing yourself that that's true because, like we said, it was the last movie we saw, and theaters shut down, maybe 2 weeks after it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Not even, like, a week later.
Yeah. So, like, I could understand convincing yourself somehow that that's why your movie didn't do well. And then on top of it, I think Vin Diesel wants another franchise. You know, I mean, he's tried so hard since Fast and Furious to, like, get lightning to strike twice. I mean, he had Triple X. He tried to reboot that. That didn't really work. The Riddick franchise is stalled. What was that one? The Last Witch Killer or something?
The Last Witch Hunter.
Witch Hunter, yeah. That didn't do well. So, like, I think he really wants another franchise. He doesn't want to think that it was other people that made Fast and Furious big. Maybe.
Oh, that's definitely the case. Vin Diesel is not one to ever want to give anyone else credit for anything. Like, he is. That's why, Reggie, we've talked about it. That's why he's always in a scene with a crowd of people behind him cheering in a movie. Like, he's always the savior. He's always Jesus Christ in his movies. And if this movie doesn't work, his music career maybe might take off.
Oh,
jams. Do you think this will be the first movie you guys see back in movie theaters?
God, I hope not.
God, no.
It's the circle. It's like you started Jumanji because you saw this in theaters. Now you got to end it by seeing it in theaters, and then it'll all be over.
Fucking man, I don't know how long it's gonna be before this comes out, but I hope to God I'm back in a movie theater before this piece of shit comes back out. Oh God!
Unless they start filming in secret during COVID or something.
But you know what? I'll go see it. Because like a morbid curiosity kind of deal.
Like, I still haven't seen the first one, and I don't think I will.
I don't think you should.
You're not missing.
I paid $3 for it, and then all my shit got disappeared.
I was like, where did you pay $3 for it?
Yeah, you know where I used to pay $3 for it.
Yeah, dude, we had the hookup.
Duped out of money. Thanks, Jack Bayless.
I don't know that we got duped out of money. We all kind of knew it wasn't. I didn't think I was going to lose all my shit, but
yeah, I didn't think I was going to lose everything. Like, I didn't know what the deal was or how it was happening, but like, whatever. I'm just glad I didn't spend all that much money on it. I maybe spent 30.
Dude.
Maybe.
I mean, I have a spreadsheet that tells me how much I spent. Hold on. I spent a lot of money on that shit. And I was happier than a pig in shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is this it? Oh, dear God. Just about $170.
Ooh.
I didn't lose all of them. I still have about, I don't know, 30 movies from that I was able.
How'd you keep that many?
I don't know how I managed to keep those. 8 of them are the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, I still have those too. Yeah.
Seven of which I've never seen before, and I don't know that I ever will, but I have them because they were so cheap. Maybe I should.
Speaking of Harry Potter, Johnny Depp has left the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Hell of a segue.
He was asked to resign, and I think it's mostly because he lost that his libel suit about abusing Amber Heard. Like, they're going through a horrible divorce. I don't think we've really touched upon it much, but it seems like there was abuse back and forth. Like, they're both assholes. Is what we seem to be getting. It's funny because when it started out, it was like Amber Heard is a victim, and like everybody turned on Johnny Depp, and then he released some stuff and was like, "Oh no, Amber Heard was the the attacker and the abuser," and then now we come to find out that they were both abusing each other. So they're both victims and both abusers, and because of that, Johnny Depp is out. I think last I heard, talks is Mads Mikkelsen might come in to finish off this franchise, but it seems like that the whole franchise is kind of on shaky wheels right now because they were going to do like 5 or 6 movies, and it seems like after this, especially with the second one not doing well, in the box office or critically, it seems like they might just be cutting it down to 3 or 4 movies.
A franchise created by J.K. Rowling. I don't know that they have they have much of a leg to stand on. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp, if the allegations are true, should probably not be working on that movie. And I am curious, do we see the same thing happening? Which does Warner Brothers? No, who does Fantastic Beasts? What studio?
Warner Brothers.
Is it Warner Brothers? Okay, so same studio that does Aquaman. Is Amber Heard out of that?
Mm-hmm. From what I heard, but this was a long time ago, she was not asked to come back for Aquaman 2.
Oh, can we get her cut out of the first one? is there a petition somewhere for that? Can we CGI her out? Can we put like Blake Lively's face on her
in that one movie?
Yeah. Can we get Gary Oldman to come in and play the Amber Heard role? That's what I want to know.
He could do it.
I guarantee you, if anybody could do it, Gary Oldman could do it. Gary Oldman could play, what's her name, Mara?
Mara, yeah.
Yeah, he could. Gary Oldman could play the fuck out of Mara. He would kill it. Fucking kill it. What's next?
Yes. our good pal, friend of the show, Jerry Butler, is coming back for a 4th installment of the Fallen movies. And I'm here for it.
Night Has Fallen is the name of it.
Yes.
And Reggie just said, I'm here for it. So if you're playing at home, take a drink.
These movies get more ridiculous with each iteration and sequel. So I don't know where they go from the last one, because the vice president tried to kill the president. Where do you go from there? How do you move on? I don't know, but I'm
election fraud.
I like Gerard Butler's movies.
Voter fraud in this one. Dude, I mean, I don't know. I haven't liked any of these movies, to be quite honest with you. I will watch it just because that's what I do. But I am, I'm not here for it. I don't care about this movie.
I don't think we have to review this movie because it's not going to be good. I mean, I wouldn't want to review a Resident Evil movie. It's just, this movie is kind of made for people who like bad movies, I think.
Well, I tell you what, we'll wait and see what else is coming out that weekend.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's a good chance that this movie is as bad as Hunter Killer, so.
Dude, if it's there's no way it's as bad as Hunter Killer. There's no way. These movies at least have action in them. Hunter Killer.
Yes, but the action is bad. The CGI in the last one was god awful. There's a scene where they blow up a hospital, and I was like, I could do better than that.
I could do better. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
It was there's a scene with a helicopter where the helicopter goes all rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, come on, you guys. You had to see that in the edit.
Dude, I will watch it begrudgingly. Okay. And maybe we'll review it without Dawson, because this entire time we've been talking about this, his whole thing has just been shaking his head. No.
Well, I didn't see the first two. I saw the third one, and that's all I care. That's all I need to see of that.
What did we give that movie? What were our scores on? What was it called?
Angel Has Fallen.
Hunter Killer.
Angel Has Fallen.
Angel Has Fallen. Did we review Angel Has Fallen?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I did.
No.
Yeah, we all
did.
did.
We did it last September or August.
August 25th. I gave it a 6, and you both gave it a 6.5.
I gave it that high of a score.
You gave it a 6.5, bitch. You've seen.
Can I redact?
No,
redact that?
No, we're not allowed to redact scores. They are frozen in time, and that would involve a lot of work on my part for you to have a redacted score. So no, the official record states 6.5, sir.
I have access to the official records too. I'll go in there and change them.
Well, I mean, you can't change the podcast.
I'll find a way. I can do a better job.
And speaking of doing a better job, The Rock thinks that they could do a better job with the Scorpion King, and is going to produce a reboot of Scorpion King.
Well, I mean, it couldn't be worse, right?
No.
I mean, it's got to be better. This is one case where I think a remake of that movie could be beneficial. It's a shitty movie to begin with. It's not like you're going to, in people's opinions, sully that movie. Now, my question is, this says he's going to produce a reboot of the Scorpion King. Is he going to play the Scorpion King, or is he just producing it?
He's just producing. He's not going to play the Scorpion King. He might appear in it as a cameo or something, but he will not be the Scorpion King.
I want a cameo a la Arnie in The Rundown, where they pass each other as Scorpion Kings, like the new Scorpion King passes him, or I don't know. I want something. I just want them walking past each other, like a passing of the Scorpion King torch, so to speak.
The stinger.
Yeah.
The stinger. I'll say this, like, I did not like the Scorpion King movie. I think the problem with the Scorpion King is they wanted to make a villain a good guy, or maybe The Rock wanted to make the villain a good guy. Because, like, he was a bad guy in the Mummy movie, and then all of a sudden it's like he's this hero, and it's like, well, I kind of want to see, and I don't know what it is. It's just Hollywood, but for whatever reason, they haven't found a way to be able to tell a movie about a bad person. Like, I mean, Joker is a good example of it, you know, but like I can't think of a lot of movies where the protagonist is like straight up evil dude.
Well, you know, I think what you typically find in those types of movies where you have a villain that's been established, and maybe they do like a prequel or something like that where they go back and he's the main protagonist, if you want to call it that, of the movie, is that they're trying to show you that, you know, this is how they started out and this is how they got to be who they were. And
Right.
a lot of times, I don't know how often, but people that wind up being fucked up or being evil are driven that way in some form. So, you know, there is a story to be told where maybe necessarily the villain wasn't always such a terrible character, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's true. And for whatever reason, we just never got to him becoming the Scorpion King, which probably unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. But this reboot, I'm okay with. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
I'm okay with most reboots, honestly, because I don't really give a shit. But this one, I think, actually has potential to, I wouldn't say right or wrong, because I don't know that it's a super strong character, but it could definitely be better than the other one, for sure.
Yes. And last story, Jordan Peele, he's going to put out his next horror movie in July of 2022.
So I saw this, and I also saw that the movie is going to center around a minority character. They didn't say what type of minority, but he was going to be working... Oh, shit, where was it? He was going to be working some menial job. I can't remember what it was. Hold on. If you guys would not talk amongst yourselves, let me look this
up. Reggie, did you see that George Lucas originally planned to make Darth Maul the Star Wars sequel villain?
I did see that, and Darth Maul was going to be the villain, and then Leia was going to be the hero, and I thought that was very. I wonder how much that is a Zack Snyder JLA cut thing, or how much that is actually true.
Well, I mean, like if we look at the end of Solo, he does get the cameo in as like the crime godfather, which would kind of lead that direction, but then they'd have to, you know, whatever. But
then we see what happened to him in Rebels, so it's like. Did he have this idea before Rebels came out, or did he have this idea and then Kathleen Kennedy and the rest were like, yeah, thank you, George, goodbye, and then they just did whatever they wanted to do?
Right. Yeah.
Which, you know what, I could believe both things, because I do remember when Force Awakens came out that he said something to the effect that he had a totally different vision and they just ignored him. So, who knows?
Okay, back to the Jordan Peele movie. It's going to start filming in April of next year. Fingers crossed. And this is why I wanted to find it, because it has an interesting description. The lead will be a young Latino or Native American male who is a Walmart employee in the electronics section, who is described as perceptive, sincere, and clutch. I didn't realize clutch was a descriptive word, an adjective for a human being. What does that mean? He comes in and saves the day. He's clutch. He sinks 3-pointers at the buzzer. What does that mean? He makes the 60-yard field goal at the end of the game. I don't know what that means. He's clutch. But a young Latino or Native American male working in the electronics section at Walmart.
Okay.
So, I would presume that it's probably going to be not necessarily Walmart, but a Walmart-like store.
Right.
Daggard says, "What are you talking about? I know you watch sports, Brent. I know, and I understand what clutch means in that sense, but this dude works in the Walmart electronics section. Was he really good at stocking the new DVDs whenever they come out? Like,
No, man. He's like, old lady comes in and she's trying like, I need help finding the thing to play my movies on. And he's like, oh, a DVD player. She's like, you're clutch.
you're clutch, bro."
He's
You
like,
know-
that's
That's
not
not how
him,
you-
ma'am.
I don't know. Like, if somebody said that somebody was clutch, maybe dependable. Maybe they're just saying that they're dependable.
He comes in the clutch. That's a weird adjective to use to describe a
Right.
person. Dude, he's so clutch. Yeah, I get what that means in a sports framing, but I don't know what that means in Walmart electronics. I don't get. Daggard says, anyone who has ever had good customer service knows that there are clutch retail employees. Bro. Come on.
I was the most clutch retail employee.
Were you?
Hell yeah. I was the best. Everybody loved me.
Don't ask Dawson to help you build your computer.
That's not the point. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not clutch. That's not me being clutch.
You were clutch at different things.
Yeah,
You
that's
were
right. I don't need to be clutch at doing that. I do everything else.
okay. Everything else you're clutch at. You're a clutch
Yeah.
human being. Dawson was clutch in helping me get my PS5. Dawson was the
What was
guy. He was the guy that got me the link that got me to the Amazon page before they went live for everyone. See, we found a backdoor link. And
Always find the back door.
and the Amazon pre-orders sold out before they went live, and we each got one. So
And it's on the way here right now.
for anyone that wanted them and you didn't get them, I'm sorry. Don't shoot the
Blame
messenger.
me.
What I got a link. What am I supposed to do with it? I'm gonna use it.
PS5 is only like $500.
Only.
Only? Yeah. It's Jesus, Mr. Moneybags. I didn't
take
know
30.
you were swimming in cash over there. But make me feel like shit. It's only $500. Not to mention the fucking $200 to $300 spent on games.
Yeah,
And
games
accessories.
are $70 a piece now, so get ready for that.
Oh no!
Yeah, they could sell the consoles at a loss.
Right? Did you already buy Spider-Man? Miles
Yes.
Morales?
Yes.
I might buy that tomorrow.
Right, we'll probably do a review on it because it's only like an 8-hour game. So
Really?
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like a
8 to 15,
ha-
depending on how much you goof around.
it's like a half
So
sequel.
basically, it's like DLC.
Yep,
Yeah, but badass DLC.
but it's like
like
brand new, built for the system.
I watched videos of it and it looks like it's worth it to me.
I've seen the videos too. It looks amazing, but I mean, I don't want to pay full price for DLC.
It's not. It's less price.
Well,
This one, I mean, it's still
$20
$50.
less. Yeah.
It's still $50, but
I guarantee you'll get $50. Did you play the first Spider-Man?
Of course.
Dude.
they have a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse skin, and it makes everything stop motion
Yeah.
like it would.
Right,
It's bad.
the
It's
frame
so
rate.
badass. Yeah.
So for PS5, I watched a video. You know, whenever you do the fast travel and you travel to another section of the map and it takes you to that
Yeah.
loading screen and it's like a full minute before you get to move to the place that you wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Miles Morales does it in 3 seconds. Bro,
Like, there's no loading screen. It's
Bro.
incredible.
it's going to be amazing. That's on PS5 though. I don't know what it'll do on
Yeah.
PS4. Probably be the same.
It'll probably take 3
But you know what? Just drop that $500. You know, it's nothing to you. It's nothing to you. Just
if you can find one, or you get the digital for $400.
you get good luck finding one of those. That's even harder to get. I don't want
the digital because it doesn't have the Blu-ray player. So,
dude, when you said that was straight James Vanderbeek. I don't want. I don't want. I don't want the digital.
I don't want the digital.
All right, we're getting a little slap happy.
Hello.
Hey.
Who is this?
It's the Cinema Chat Podcast.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, definitely Scream. You got some news for me?
Now that we're all here, the party can begin.
It's time for Scream News. All right, so this week in Scream News, I have what could potentially be bad news for Scream fans. Roger L. Jackson, if you don't know him, you're about to know who he is. He is the voice of Ghostface in all of the movies. He was the voice of Ghostface in season 3 of the Scream TV series. He did an interview with a podcast, and he said that he has not been contacted about Scream 5. So, it could be a couple of things here. One, he could be trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and just make people talk about it. Maybe they're trying to get Scream 5 out in the news. Maybe they want people talking about the movie. Case in point. 2, maybe he's not going to be the voice of Ghostface, which for Scream fans would kind of suck. But I will say that there are probably other voice actors out there that could mimic that voice pretty well. So you got that. I don't know why you would go that route. I can't imagine Roger Jackson is commanding a huge salary. So you could be that. The third option is that maybe they're filming the movie and they're going to contact him after they're done to have him record his lines. It wouldn't be the first time a movie has done that. There have been movies that have filmed completely and then done the voice acting after the fact. There was one movie that did that recently, and I'm having trouble recalling it. But they, like, up until the last minute, they just did it with somebody on set, and then they had the voice actor come in and re-record it all. It was Child's Play, the Chucky movie. They didn't have Mark Hamill. They didn't sign Mark Hamill to the movie until after filming was already completed. He was like literally the last piece of that shitty movie. Was his voice acting. So,
dude, do you know people love that movie?
Ooh.
The new Child's Play?
I am in like some like horror groups, and people trip over that movie like it is the best thing ever. And I find it baffling.
I know one guy that doesn't like it, and his name starts with a
I
D.
hated it.
Starts with a D and ends with an awesome.
That's me. That movie was awful.
It was.
Terrible. They're making a TV show, too. It's going to be just as shitty.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. But yeah, that's Scream news for this week. So are we ready for the box office? I hope they get Roger. I hope they get Roger Jackson. But if they don't, I'm confident that they can find someone that'll be very good in the role. I'll say that much. Box office. Box office results for the weekend of November 6th through the 8th. I said that weird. 6th through the 8th. COVID-19 numbers. Number 1 at the box office, Let Him Go. That's a new Kevin Costner, Diane Lane movie, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I think. It did $4 million at the box office. Number 2 was Come Play at $1.8 million. Number 3, The War with Grandpa, $1.5 million. Number 4, Honest Thief at $1.1 million. And number 5, Tenet, in its 10th week, pulled in $905,000 for a grand total of $55 million domestic and $350 million worldwide. I don't know what that movie would have done without the current pandemic, but it's still not where I think it would have been. And then number 6 was a re-release of Toy Story, $500,000 from 1994. Toy Story, the beginning of Pixar, $500,000 this week. And that's your box office results for the weekend of November 6th through the 8th, 2020. Are we ready for our feature presentation?
Yeah, let's get it over with. I mean, let's get to it.
Let's get on with the show.
Yikes.
And now, our feature presentation.
Batman the Killing Joke, directed by Sam Liu, written by Brian Azzarello, Brian Boland, who illustrated the graphic novel, and Alan Moore, who was the writer for the graphic novel. Voice actors for this movie: Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker. I was happy to see that right off the bat. You got Tara Strong, Ray Wise, John DiMaggio, I don't know if he's related to Joe, Robin Atkin Downs, Brian George, J.P. Carolake, and, a bunch of people that you don't know because they're voice actors. So this was Rob's pick. Rob picked Batman the Killing Joke. I don't frequent animated DC movies, although I do love Batman the Animated Series. Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill. Those are the voices of Batman and the Joker to me. Whenever I think, what does Batman sound like? Or what does the Joker sound like? It's Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. Like I said, I love Batman the Animated Series. I don't frequent the DC feature films. And all I keep hearing from Reggie and other people that want to keep pushing animated movies on me is how much better DC is doing their animated movies as opposed to their live action movies. And I got to tell you, for being the first one that I watched, not off to a good start, Reggie.
You know what? Small caveat. This is not one of the movies that when people talk about those movies, because what people are talking about is the Disney is the DC animated universe, and we're talking about movies like Justice League War, Justice League Apocalypse, the Suicide Squad. They're all part of one continuity. This is a standalone movie that has nothing to do with the rest of the DC animated universe. So, this is not in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't represent what the DC animated universe that everyone's talking about. So there's that small caveat to this.
Nerd.
So I'm saying, don't judge it by this. If you really want to see one of those movies that we're talking about, Justice League War, watch that one. It's on. I'm sure it's on HBO Max. It's the first one, and if you don't like that, then you probably won't like the rest of them. I'll say Suicide Squad, their movie, their second one. The Suicide Squad Assault on Arkham is good, but the second one is where it's really at. That one was amazing. So, but again, if you don't like Just League War, then you probably won't like the rest.
Dawson, initial thoughts.
So I didn't watch a ton of the DC animated cartoons. So I played Batman the Arkham Asylum games, So yeah, I like hearing Mark Hamill from there. And like you said too, like that those are your voices. Mark Hamill has said that he was done with the Joker voice after doing the Batman Arkham games, but he said, you know what, the only thing that would make me come out of retirement for the Joker is this, if they were to make the Killing Joke as a animated feature. And he did it, and he's backed out of his retirement talks, and he said, you know what, as long as Kevin Conroy does it, I'm going to do it.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
But outside of that, I mean,
that was the longest fact. I
know, because I weaseled my way in there. I really didn't care for this. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just in my head. I'm like, this. It's a cartoon and it's not for me right now. But maybe I'll try one of the other ones just to give it a shot and then really, really give it a good try. But for this one, I didn't do a lot for me.
For years, I have been on the show like de facto I hate animated guy. A little bit unfairly, I believe. I was painted into this corner. And the only way I knew how to fight my way out of it was to shit on animated movies even more. But I don't know. It's just, this one does not really do it for me. And all I've heard over the years, I'm not a comic book guy either. Like, I don't read the comics. I read like The Walking Dead, but I don't read comics. So I keep hearing from everyone how great the story of The Killing Joke is. And I watched this movie, and this story is not good. Is it different from the novel? Because if this is what the novel is, dude, this is shit. What is this?
Okay, now, here's the thing. I went back, and one of the reasons I wasn't there for this watch party is because I was like, I don't need to watch that again because, there's a lot of history with The Killing Joke because it came at a point where, like, Barbara Gordon is like, she's Batgirl, whatever, and then you see what happens to her. She gets assaulted, and she gets raped and all that shit, and then she gets paralyzed or whatever. And then people were pissed because they were like, why would you do that to Batgirl? And then she later becomes Oracle, and it's like, there are a lot of people who are like, my Barbara Gordon is in a wheelchair kind of a thing. And that's kind of like how I feel. Like, I think she was such a better character as Oracle, but whatever. Doesn't matter. But when this came out, people were so hyped. And, like, I went back, and because I remember seeing it in theaters and being like, I can't wait to see this in theaters. Then I saw it in theaters, and I went back and looked, and, dude, I was hyped on this film afterwards. Which is funny, because now I'm like, fuck this film. Because I don't know, it's just 4 years of maturity. I don't know. Like, the first part of the movie is not part of The Killing Joke. They just had to stretch time, and I always hated that first part because it's so fucking weird. Barbara Gordon is like has a stalker and then bangs Batman, and so
the part where Batgirl fucks Batman is not in the book.
No, and it's like it's so fucking creepy and like borderline disgusting because like he knew her growing up, so like the banger, like that's like weird. That's just some weird shit.
He looked conflicted, if that counts for anything.
No, but like one of the reasons people hated it even at the time was because it just read like fan fiction. Like some dude wanted to see Barbara Gordon bang Batman and got into a position where he could put that on screen. And then on top of it, The Killing Joke, like even going into it, people were like, The Killing Joke isn't that long. It's maybe the extra big comic, like in lengthwise, maybe 40 pages, something like that. It's really short. So like for them to have decided to make this an anime feature, they would have had to stretch it, and that's what they did with that first story, and it just doesn't work. Yeah. And then yeah, so like, I don't know. As far as putting the Killing Joke, the actual story on screen, they did a really good job because they don't shy away, which in retrospect, maybe they should have. Maybe this isn't the story they should have put out on the screen.
I don't know, man. Dagger's in the chat. He says people were really hyped about the Killing Joke when it came out because apparently the graphic novel was badass. I mean, even taking away the first half of the movie, and maybe that colors my opinion on it, I just don't feel like it's that like people talk about like it's a transcendent story, and it really just seemed kind of like your run of the mill Batman story. It didn't seem all that fantastic. I am curious though. You said, how did you go back and figure out what your opinions on the Killing Joke were?
I just typed in Killing Joke in Facebook and brought up my old post.
Okay. So you were so hyped about it that you ran to Facebook and you're like, dude, you guys got to see this movie. Guess how awesome it is. It's the best retelling of Batman that you'll ever see. It's better than The Dark Knight. It's awesome. I love it so much. And 4 years later, you're like, this is shit.
You even gave it a thumbs up. My comment.
I liked it. He like.
Yeah. But dude, like in retrospect, I even at the time I didn't like the first part of it because it's messed up for no reason. But then like, I don't know, looking back at it, I understand why people have turned on this. Like, I think there's a big segment of the comic book, I guess, fandom, the Batman fandom, that don't like this particular story anymore because it's basically just the way that they treat Barbara Gordon is really disrespectful. And it's not about her. It's just about Jim Gordon and, you know, the dudes in their life. You know, it's one of those, the trope, I think it's called fridging, where you do something really messed up to a female character so that it prompts the male characters to do something. And it's funny, too, because that comes from another DC movie, cartoon, or comic, rather. Green Lantern, like Kyle Rayner, one of the first villains, finds out who he is, kills his girlfriend, and puts her in the fridge. Hence why they call it fridging. And it's just like, it's a trope that happens way too often. And I don't, you know, and it's just, it's messed up. And like, there's really no way to get around that, you know, that problematic part of the story.
Well, I hear everything you're saying, but I want to talk about what they do to Jim Gordon in this. Because, dude, what the fuck was going on? He's in some fucking Channing Tatum in This Is the End outfit, and he's being led around by these 4 little people that have gigantic eyes and weird hair, like little ponytails on bald heads, and I can't remember what all they do to him, but they do some shit to him, and he's naked, and they're pushing him around in a fucking amusement park, like coal car on like one of those moving things, and they're showing pictures of his daughter naked and fucked up and blood everywhere, and there's a musical number during this scene. I don't know, it's just really, I was watching, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Because as fucked up as Batgirl having sex with Batman, like, I don't have the context of the characters. I don't really know a ton about Batgirl and Batman's relationship. But in the moment, it wasn't weird to me because I didn't have that backstory. So to me, the most fucked up shit was like, what is going on with this carny shit? This carnival, Joker's got all of his henchmen. It's just really weird. And I was put off by all of that. It was strange. And he don't like it. Okay. I did not care for that at all. So you're talking about the first half of the movie, which I totally get why. But in the moment, like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm trying to figure out how we're getting into the story and all this stuff. And everything's not making that much sense to me. But then we get to the part where they've got Commissioner Gordon at the carnival. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know what I'm watching. This is not what I signed up for. I signed up for a Batman movie. I did not sign up for Commissioner Gordon S&M session with a bunch of people pushing him around, showing him pictures of his mutilated daughter. That's not what I signed up for. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. And then to top it off, it's got the most ass backwards weird ending of a movie that I've seen in a long time. What is that ending? When they end with a shitty joke and both characters laughing as it fades to black. What is that? Explain to me how that is even close to a satisfying ending in any way.
Because it's called The Killing Joke because the joke at the end is it's all okay, I'm just gonna explain it. I'm not defending it. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
I don't like the story. So
okay.
The whole point of The Killing Joke, the thing is like it's supposed to explain who the Joker is and who Batman is and how the Joker became the Joker because of one bad night, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he wanted to have Jim Gordon to have a bad night so that he would, so that Batman could not have a bad night. Basically, everything that happens to Jim Gordon and Barbara Gordon is so that Batman understands what it's like to have a bad night. And he'll see that once you understand that you don't have control over anything, you'll get the joke, And at the very end, he's supposed to tell this joke, and then Batman and him laugh. But the way it ends in the book, and I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it doesn't really translate well probably in the movie. But the way it ended in the book, everybody at the time was like, did Batman kill the Joker? Because that was the whole thing. The Joker kind of wanted Batman to kill him. And that's what The Killing Joke is. Like all this to get to the end where Batman kills him. And we're led to assume that Batman does kill the Joker.
We are not led to assume at the end of this movie. if I'm supposed to think that, it was not shown in the movie in any way to get me there.
Here's the thing. In the movie, you hear them laugh, right? They're both laughing. And then at the end, it's only one voice laughing. Which is to let you know that the Joker's dead. That's why there's only one person laughing at the end.
Okay.
Hey, that was the intention.
I mean,
they executed well.
If that's the intention, it's executed poorly. Beyond poorly, I would say. I did not realize that it went from two people laughing to one person laughing. And if it did, it couldn't have been for that long because the laughter is short-lived. It's not like extended laughter.
And that's on purpose because in the book, it's only like one panel. The very end where Batman has his hands around Joker's throat and they laugh and it cuts.
Oh, I don't think I would have to go back and watch it. Dawson, did he have his hands around his throat?
I don't remember that, but I'm reading in through my notes here that some viewers do interpret the ending as Batman killing by either strangling him or snapping his neck. But original writer Alan Moore has stated that Batman brings the Joker into custody by the book, as Commissioner Gordon demands. So,
yeah, dude, I don't remember his hand being around.
The thing about Alan Moore, though, he hates everything that he does. So,
dude, I mean this movie worked on almost no level for me, other than the fact that it had Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. There wasn't really even anything in it that made me go, oh, that's cool. And I feel like with a Batman movie of any kind, there should be a moment where I, as a Batman fan, say, oh shit, that was cool. And I didn't get that at all in this. And maybe it's because it's animated. I don't think so, because like I said, I'm a big fan of the animated series. Maybe it's because I was so turned off by other sections of the movie that when something cool happened, I was already kind of out of it. Because, you know, sometimes that can happen. You can just get to a point where you're like, man, fuck this movie. And it has a hard hill to climb to please you on any level. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I know that originally when this movie came out, I did want to see it, and I never got around to it, which is something Daggard said in the chase, that I meant to watch this and never got around to it, and maybe I never will. And quite frankly, if I were you, I probably wouldn't watch it, because I'm sitting here telling you it is a waste of your time. This movie is a waste of your time. If you haven't seen it, I don't think you should watch it. I don't think you should form your own opinion on it, because I think I'm correct.
I basically told Jonathan the same thing. He owns it, and he was like, I still haven't seen it. I was like, you really don't need to see it. This is not a movie that needs to be seen. It's not good. And the story in of itself is kind of problematic, you know? And it's not a good story. It doesn't take... And the only defense for it is that it came out in a different time, maybe. That's
when? I was going to ask you
like
that next.
1988 is when this came out.
Okay.
The original story.
Well, we've watched a lot of 80s movies lately, and you can certainly tell that they were made in a different time based on content. So, but that doesn't mean... Okay, here's my issue with that. If you have a book that people might find problematic that was written 30-something years ago, and you're going to make a movie out of it 30 years later, and you know that the story itself is problematic, are you kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because you want to be faithful to the book and maybe not change too much, but you also have a story that you know maybe doesn't translate well in today's society? Like, what do you do there? You're better off not making the movie, probably. But is it better to change the story or to be faithful to the book?
It's better to change the story, but I think the problem is that at the time, and probably even now, DC is run by a bunch of dude bros who only care about what other dude bros care about. So, like, I mean, even that's why I was like, showed my cards. At the time, I was like, oh, I can't believe they did this, and I was kind of high on it. But it's like, looking back at it now, is not cool, So I don't think it made a lot of money when it came out, because it was kind of a limited release, if I'm not mistaken.
So this was Fathom put it in theaters, and it was the largest release DC animated series, and it made like $12.3 million in the 2 days. So it was in theaters for July 25th and 26th, and it made $12.3 million on a movie that cost $3.5 million to make.
Okay, so I was gonna hit the that's a fact button, but I just looked it up on Box Office Mojo, which we here at Cinema Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, we take that as gospel whenever it comes to box office. Is that correct?
I was looking at my notes. My notes are wrong.
Worldwide gross, 4.4 million. Domestic, 3.7. So, I don't want to say that your research is wrong, Dawson.
I mean, I do a lot of research here, so.
But, I would take Box Office Mojo over the trivia section on IMDb.
Hey.
What?
I'll say this.
Isn't that crazy?
The fact that it came out through Fathom Events, does that change the box office? Because Fathom Events charges a lot more than a regular ticket, and I don't know how much they get from that.
It's not that much. It's not that much different, though.
I mean, it was played in over 1,075 theaters across the U.S.
I think the ticket at the time was like $25.
I'm trying to find...
But I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see.
I'll also say that you can all thank Star Wars: The Force Awakens for this movie being made. So they wanted to cash in on Mark Hamill's resurgence from
Dude, it was 2 days. It was a Monday and a Tuesday. It made $3.1 million on the Monday and $600,000 on the Tuesday. So it got its big nut the first day, and then it was never to be seen again. Until 2020, when RobApp1 on Twitter made Reggie, Dawson, and Brent review it for Cinema Chat Podcast.
I'm not going to say that is wrong, that it was only in theaters for 2 days, but I question if that was true. Because I remember seeing, like if you missed it the first time, you could see it again. I'm pretty sure it was more than just but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, IMDb also says it was 4.4 million.
Box Office Mojo is owned by IMDb.
Oh, so it goes hand in hand. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
All right. Are we ready to give our scores for The Killing Joke?
Sure.
Dawson, I think you're first this week.
Yeah, that sounds great. This movie sucked. Don't watch it, especially if you don't like animated movies. But even if you don't watch it, this movie was awful. We're on a really bad streak here. I won't give it a 1. I'll give it a 2, just because I don't want to be so bad. But this movie sucked.
Okay, Reggie.
I don't know why or how I turned on this movie so much over the 4 years that it's come out. Maybe that's just growing up and maturing a bit.
I think you're more woke now.
What?
You're more woke now.
But I mean, the only good thing about this story is it gave me my favorite version of Barbara Gordon. When New 52 came out and they were like, yeah, Barbara Gordon's no longer in the wheelchair, and I was like, I'm out. I'm kind of done with this DC thing in the comics because I just fell in love with but whatever. That being said, the first part of this movie is just there to pad time. It's not good. It's disrespectful to all characters involved. And then the Killing Joke does not age well. And it's just not, I don't know why now it's so beloved from Batman fans. It's one of the core Batman stories somehow for still. Probably because it did affect so much. But other than that, it's a bad story. It does not age well. They should not have done this. And even though I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Oh!
Hey, I wanted full disclosure.
Woo, buddy. Maybe it's time to go back to that Murder on the Orient Express review. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I would give this a 2 out of 10 as well. It's not a good story. Nobody needs to watch it. And to the point where if this is one of your favorite Batman stories, I'm looking at you suspect.
You're sus.
You're sus.
I mean, I'm right there with you guys. I'm going to give it a 2 as well. Yes. It's not good. I'm not a fan of it. It really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't work on any level for me other than the fact that it has my Batman and my Joker voice actors. It's really the only thing I enjoyed out of it was getting to hear them again. But I mean, that in and of itself does not make a good movie. It's not worth your time. It's not good. Don't watch it. Skip it. It's a 2 out of 10. And guys, we're going to have to round out the year with some good movies because we've had The Monster Squad, Train to Busan Presents Peninsula, Batman the Killing Joke, and next week we have Johnny Mnemonic. So that's a murderer's row of really, really terrible movies, probably. It's been a long time since I've seen Johnny Mnemonic, but I can't imagine it's going to be that good. So I know Reggie will be high on it. But after that, we have Attack the Block and The Running Man, and Rob and Reggie still had picks. So hopefully we'll round out the year on a stretch of good movies after this stretch of bad movies. That's all I can hope for, because I feel like now we're just trying to one up each other.
Yeah, we are. Especially, Annabellum was in there too.
Annabellum. Dawson really hated Time Trap. We had the Meyerowitz stories. I mean, it's just...
Ready to Rumble.
Well, Ready to Rumble was way far back.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
It was back in July.
Jesus.
We've been doing this thing for a minute, dude. It's just, it could be worse. Could be worse.
Oh, Daggett says, "Do us right, Reggie." I may have to change.
No. We are doing Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic was.
That one's been.
I'll save it for the review.
That one's been a long time coming. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen it entirely.
In its entirety? Is that what you're going to say?
That's everyone.
Well, it's Reggie's favorite movie, and I just know that he's going to come on here and he's going to shit on it so that he can perpetuate this lie that all of a sudden he doesn't love this movie. Don't be fooled, everyone. Do not be fooled. Somewhere there's a Facebook post from 1993 where Reggie gave it a 10 out of 10. So just remember that. Remember this week whenever we talk about next week. That's going to do it for this episode of Cinema Chat Podcast. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Like I said, we have a banger of a lineup coming up in the next few weeks. So come back, sit with us. Let's talk about movies. And that's a wrap.
You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody.
But you can follow us. I'm Brent, and I am...
Ed's not Malcolm.
And he's Rob, and he's...
Rob 1.
There's also Reggie, who is...
Hit on.
We can't forget about Dawson at...
Andy!
Underscore Dawson.
Don't forget to follow the podcast at CinemaChatPod on Twitter. And check out our website, cinemachatpodcast.podbean.com.
I'm following you now. I'm just going to follow you everywhere. I'm just going to follow you the rest of my life.
Thanks, Peter. Now, if the rest of you would get off your ass and follow us, that would be great.
Mail, motherfucker!
Oh, and don't forget to send your emails to cinemachatpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Please, send us something. Have a good week, everyone. Goodbye. I'm stifling my laughter because Daggard said something really funny. He said the review for Johnny Mnemonic can't be found on your Facebook page. It's on your Teen Open Diary. I don't know if you guys remember Teen Open Diary, but goddamn,
I don't know what that is.
That shit is a deep cut, Daggard, deep cut. Shout out to Teen Open Diary.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.